What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Maketoys Ion Swarm, their version of a Masterpiece Ion Storm. So this was a TFcon Toronto 2022 exclusive from TFsource, and I was lucky enough to pick this up at the TFsource booth at TFcon. They also listed online basically at the same time the convention was going, and there's 200 pieces. Unfortunately, it's completely sold out. It's sold out at the convention, and it's sold out online. So they're basically gone. I don't know if they're going to make more. I heard that they're not, but I can't tell for sure if they'll ever produce more of these. But it means some really good things. So number one, for those who are trying to complete their Seeker, all the different colors, it means, hey, they're one step closer to that. Number two, it means Maketoys is creating figures again, which is great for everybody. It's great for collectors because now we have more choices out there. It's great for Maketoys fans because Maketoys makes some really good stuff. And it's great for competition. So I'm happy about it. And I did want to clear up some confusion about a live stream I did a couple weeks ago. I mentioned that TFsource was bringing back these exclusives and that they were helping to fund Maketoys. I did talk to the TFsource owner at TFcon to just understand exactly what the situation is, and he did confirm, yes, they are funding these exclusives, meaning they're co-producing this with Maketoys, but they are not going to own or be sole distributor of anything else that Maketoys make. So if they go back to making headmasters or cone heads or anything that's not a TFsource exclusive repaint for TFcon, it will be sold at all your normal retailers. So my apologies if I did confuse anybody on that, but that is the truth I got right from the owner of TFsource. So let's take a look at this guy. So first off, you do get the null rays here, and those have to be plugged in. They do feel nice and secure. All of the tolerances kind of all throughout the figure do feel a lot better. Just kind of secures much better. The wings also, they peg in. That's always been a problem on this style Seeker. These seem to peg in very securely on the back. Nothing's really moving. Out of the box, there's a couple things. There's multiple things you have to do. So number one, at least for mine, this was sticking up like this. So you have to take this. That's going to fold accordion down inwards and then sit on the back cleanly inside the nose cone. Number two, and this is maybe a preference thing, these are down like this. I prefer them up and out of the way, but some people might like that stylized look with that sticking down, but I don't, so I put it up like this. Again, that's a choice. Another thing is these panels will be not pegged in fully, and it comes in the box with this folded inwards like this. Now, these are also rotated down, and you actually want these rotated back. So you're going to fold this panel up, fold this up, and then this is going to close back down. Now you can tab it into here, but if you prefer, you can hide these inside, underneath here, and just kind of, it just sits on top. It tabs in on up the top, but really it was meant to have this up, have this tab down onto here. At least that's the original design that I know. And then it tabs down here, and that secures that whole piece, and then that just sits on the back. All right, now let's take a look at the articulation on this guy. So the head is on a ball joint, goes down to there, back to there, side-to-side movement, and rotates all the way around. It is a nice tolerance on there, so it can hold different positions. The wings are on a joint here, so you can get them up kind of at an angle, or you can get them backwards like this. And that's nice because it gives you a little space to move the shoulder. So the shoulders can rotate all the way around. It's on a soft ratchet, so it can go all the way up to there. You can bring it out to the side on this joint. It folds out on here, but it will collide with the wing. If you go too far, it will pop the wing out. But I do feel like the wings are definitely more secure than they used to be, so that's nice. They stay locked in. They aren't constantly popping out, so that's great. Bring those down. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend there. Rotation at the wrist. Now, I had to go back and watch my review. These hands are new, so they've changed the way they did these fingers. They're individually articulated at 1-2 pins. Unfortunately, you can go the other direction, so you can bend them just the wrong way, but they are nice and tight. They're toleranced well. They seem to work pretty good. You can pose them, so I like these hands. Seems to be an improvement over the previous hands. You have a double jointed ab crunch. So there's a joint here and here, which allows you to get a huge bend out of this guy. And you get a rotation up here. So you can rotate at the waist, so you can get a rotating bend and, you know, kind of get into position, make it look realistic. So I like that. The arms out of the way. The hip skirts will fold up to allow the leg to go up to there on a ratchet, back to here on a ratchet, out to the side on friction, nicely toleranced, it holds. You have a rotation at the thigh. Double jointed knee, if you bend the bottom knee first, you can't get it all the way, so we'll go all the way back on that joint here and here. And those do feel toleranced pretty well. The top one is ratcheted, and the bottom one is just a pin joint with friction, but it does seem to hold very nicely. You have a ankle tilt. It'll go all the way up to there. It is nice and tight. The heel does move with the toe, and then the toe itself is on a ratchet, so you can get this down and move that to whatever position you want. All right, and there's the head sculpt up close, and you will notice this one has a much bigger forehead than the previous ones, so it is a bigger head. I'm not sure if it's the new design or if it's to distinguish Ion Storm from the rest. I kind of like it because it sets him apart and makes him look like a different character because he's just had such a different head sculpt. Now, if you're not a fan of this head sculpt and you don't like the way it looks, not to worry, you can pop this off at the ball joint there, and you can grab the original smaller head here and just pop that on, and there you go, you're back to your standard Maketoys head. But if you don't like the face, you can also change out the faces. So here's the face, it just tabs in here, and you can pull that off. And you get a flight stand here, which we'll take a look at a little bit later, but there's 3 faces that are tabbed into the bottom of this flight stand. So if you grab those, you can put those on here. You can put it on here, doesn't matter, whichever one. And you can use any of those faces. There's like the kind of grimacing face. So that looks pretty good. Here's a smiling or laughing, I guess. I guess the laughing face. And one more kind of open mouth face like that. And I believe you can use them on either one, so it doesn't matter. You can swap them between both heads and it fits. So that's a nice little feature here. Me personally, I prefer the different looking head here. And we do get a few other accessories here that are at least new from the original mold. So you get these blast effects here. They're translucent blue. They kind of look like ice. I kind of like them, but you can attach those to the null rays, both in the vehicle mode and in the robot mode. So you can have something like that. Very good looking. Nice fitment on here, so I don't know if they've changed the tolerances or if it's the same, but those fit very, very nicely. And of course you can have both if you prefer, but nice looking, well sculpted and colored blast effects. All right, and the last accessory you get here is this flight stand, which can be used in the jet mode. So you can store pretty much everything on here. You can take the faces and they'll just tab right into here like I showed you earlier. So you can store all the extra faces. You can take these and these will fit in here. The ball, kind of the round part, will go here. I would be careful, but they do seem to fit very nicely. And then these can be fit on the top, and you can put them in any of these holes. There's a bunch. The only one I haven't figured out where it goes is this alternate head. I'm not sure if there's a spot specifically for this, but everything else goes on there. Really cool, really nice inclusion. I don't know if there's a way to utilize this stand in this mode. It looks like there's a little tab here on his butt. Let's see if that fits. Yes, it does fit. So that's really cool. It is a very tight fit. It's a die-cast piece going into that plastic, so yeah, pretty cool inclusion there. And for a size comparison, there it is next to MP44 Optimus Prime and the MP36 Megatron. He is significantly shorter than both of these. I think it makes sense and it works for the Masterpiece scale. And for another more interesting size comparison, there it is next to the Takara Tomy MP52 Thundercracker, the deformation space, I don't even remember his name, Thunder, and then of course Ion Storm next to them. Now he is obviously not Thundercracker, but a lot of similarities, except they have the white arms, the white feet, and then they use the dark blue instead of the gray. But as you can see, the deformation space comes into the tallest, and then Maketoys, and then Takara Tomy is the smallest. But there you go for a comparison. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his jet mode. Since we've done the transformation on this channel before, and it's the same transformation, we'll get it transformed off camera, and we'll be right back. And there we have Ion Swarm in his jet mode. Really quite beautiful looking jet mode. It is pretty much the same. The transformation is the same. There's nothing changed. The tolerances do feel good. They don't have anything loose or kind of moving around on you. These are still the same, although the tolerances are nice. They've done it so that they hold their position. That was always an irritant to me. Also, the fact that they have a joint in the middle was kind of an issue for me, but since they've colored this middle piece red, it kind of fades away into that. But that is the same as the original design. It does have opening cockpit here, so you can open this up. There's not really a seat or anything, but it does look nice. Nicely painted cockpit with that silver, kind of really represents the character here. Come to the bottom, you do have landing gear. These are just molded pieces. They're not rolling wheels. But you can fold those up if you prefer. You can fold the flaps up and down if you want to for that feature, and you can move these wings in whatever direction you want. So you have those features as well. Now, this comes with a new molded piece, which is new for this figure and probably for the purple one that we're going to get. Forgot the name. But this is what it looks like. It comes to the bottom of the jet here. So this tab's going to fit underneath here. And then these two pegs are going to fit into these two peg slots. So get that into there like that. And before I forget, it does come with the underside of the wing fillers automatically installed. So you don't need to install those, and you don't need to buy those separately. They are included with the figure. And now what it does is, one, it completes the jet, so you get a nice smooth bottom of the jet. But number two, you can use this flight stand. So if you take this, and that's going to fit into here, open side towards the front. It's a nice secure stand, and it really looks nice. There he is on that stand. That's awesome. Really good inclusion, kind of a nice addition. It makes it worthwhile getting the upgrade because, or I guess this exclusive, and maybe even the newer versions, because if they're including these stands, I really think this is a great way to display these guys. You also can change out these null rays for these shorter missile pieces here. And you can store the null rays back here. But the only problem with these is you can't have the blast effects on the shorter ones. I much prefer having these for display. I just think it looks so cool. And for a quick size comparison, there he is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime and the Fans Toys Goose, another jet. It is basically the same size as other Seekers, maybe a little bit longer. In this direction, longitudinally. But as far as scale, it's basically the same scale as any other Seekers in the Masterpiece or third-party collection. So final thoughts on the Maketoys Ion Swarm. Let's start with the positives. I think the color scheme looks pretty good. Pretty close to Ion Storm, but some things are a little bit different, like the white feet. But still, don't mind it. It's kind of a stylized look at Ion Storm. I do like the blast effect. It really just kind of looks like ice or something. I like that it's a different color than the previous ones we've gotten. I personally think the head looks nice, but some people may think that head is kind of too big or whatever. But I just like it because it differentiates him from the others, right? So it kind of looks like different. But not to worry, you can just use the stock one if you don't like it. And of course, you get all those extra faces, so that's a nice option as well. So pretty much good accessories all throughout. I also like the fact that they added the flight stand. That's really nice. Nice addition, especially in the jet mode. It really adds to the display factor for this guy. Negatives-wise, there are still the same, little annoyances that I had with the original. So like these wings, if you fold the arm back far enough to the outside, it will pop this wing off because it's on that one little tab. And that's been, now it is a nice firm tab. It does stay there, but you can't pop that off. And then same for this waist, although I do like the fact that you ab crunch and waist swivel and all the possible moves you'd want. Sometimes it does break up the sculpt, but that's really it for my negatives. It's a pretty cool figure. I'm glad that Maketoys is back, so I hope to see more from them, especially the Headmasters. That's what I'm excited for. I know they are coming at this point. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.